Welcome to the Prepper Almanac. Thank you for joining us today. In today's video we are going to discuss 25 survival recipes preppers should practice making now part 2. And yes, please like the video and subscribe to the channel if I give you value in today's video. Are you really prepared for the unexpected? Sure, if something big suddenly happens, there's no real way to predict how events will unfold. Knowing how to cook survival recipes is a critical skill that can help you and your family stay alive in the event of a disaster. This is part 2 of a 2-part video. Today's video discusses 15 of those 25 survival recipes. Part 1 discuss the first 10. 11. Corn Dodgers. Corn Dodgers are a classic southern dish that can be traced back to early settlers and is still enjoyed today for its simple, yet delicious flavor. Not only do they make a great side dish, but Corn Dodgers are also a fantastic breakfast on their own with a little bit of honey. Ingredients: 2 cups finely ground cornmeal, 1 teaspoon salt, ½ cup lard or vegetable shortening, ½ cup plus 2 tablespoons water. Vegetable oil, for frying. In a medium bowl, mix together the cornmeal and salt. Add in the lard or vegetable shortening and mix with your hands until it resembles coarse crumbs. Slowly add in the water while stirring with your hands until the dough forms a ball. The dough should be slightly sticky but not too wet or dry. Roll out the dough on a lightly floured surface into a rectangle about 1/4 inch thick. Using your fingers, press an indentation into each round of dough in order to form a pocket for the filling. Fold up each side around the filling so that it creates an oblong shape resembling an envelope. Pinch together any open ends so that the filling doesn't leak out during cooking. Heat enough vegetable oil in a large skillet over medium-high heat until it reaches 375 degrees Fahrenheit, 190 degrees Celsius. Carefully place 2 or 3 filled rounds at a time into hot oil. Fry for about 3 minutes per side until golden brown and crispy on both sides. Adjust heat if necessary to prevent burning or overbrowning. 12. Pan-fried pork chops. Just fry pork chops in oil on each side over medium heat for about 6 minutes, until browned and cooked through. Then remove from the pan, add a sprinkle of your favorite herbs and seasonings, and let cool. This creates wonderfully crunchy golden brown chops that work as a standalone dish or can be served alongside other ingredients. 13. Potato cakes. Potato cakes are an all-time favorite when it comes to survival recipes, as they are simple and don't require too many ingredients. 14. Oxtail potjia. Oxtail potjia is an incredibly hearty, flavorful dish that is surprisingly easy to make. The traditional South African recipe originated as an ingenious way for travelers to cook with minimal ingredients and survive in the wilderness. 15. Fish on a stick. To make this favorite outdoor treat, you'll need just a few simple ingredients: fish fillets or your preferred type of seafood, skewers, and your favorite marinade. 16. Veitkoek. Veitkoek is a dish originating from South Africa that is loved by many people all over the world. It's a great survival recipe because you can make it with the simplest of ingredients, most of which are likely already in your pantry or fridge. 17. Rusks. Rusks, also known as hardtack or ship's biscuit, are a traditional seafaring staple. Highly nutritious and simple to make, they're the perfect food for any sailor on a long voyage, or even those hoping to prepare for the future. Best of all, the core ingredients used to make rusks require virtually no prep time. All you need is some flour, water, salt, and baking soda. 18. Buffalo jerky. Buffalo jerky is an ideal survival recipe. It's easy to make, highly nutritious, and will last for a long time. 19. Pioneer bread. Pioneer bread is an excellent choice for a survival recipe that is delicious and nutritious. Not only does it require minimal ingredients and preparation, but it also lasts for weeks with no refrigeration needed. 20. Johnny cakes, a traditional New England favorite. This delicious dish is as versatile as it is simple to make. All you need are flour, sugar, and water or milk. Most ingredients can be found in any kitchen pantry, and the preparation time is minimal. Ingredients: 1 cup of white cornmeal, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 3 tablespoons of sugar, ½ teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of melted butter. Start by mixing together all the dry ingredients in a bowl. Then melt the butter and slowly mix it into the dry ingredients until everything is evenly blended. Heat some oil or bacon fat in a skillet over medium-high heat and drop spoonfuls of batter into it. Cook each side until golden brown before flipping them over and repeating on the other side. 21. Venison stew. Venison stew is an incredibly nutritious and delicious survival recipe. It's packed full of vitamins and minerals that are essential to human health. You can easily prepare venison meat by simmering it with some simple ingredients like onions, potatoes, carrots, garlic, red wine, or broth. Any combination you desire will do. Ingredients: 2 pounds of cubed venison, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, or other cooking oil, 1 large onion, diced, 2 cloves of garlic, minced, 1 teaspoon of dried thyme leaves, 2 bay leaves, 1 tablespoon of tomato paste, 4 cups of beef broth or stock, 4 carrots, sliced into half-inch pieces, 2 medium potatoes, cut into cubes, 1 cup of frozen green peas. First, heat the oil in a large pot over medium-high heat. Add the diced onion and cook until softened. Next, add the garlic and cook for another minute before stirring in the cubed venison. Cook until the venison is lightly browned on the outside. Then add the thyme leaves, bay leaves, tomato paste, and beef broth or stock to the pot. Bring the mixture to a boil before reducing the heat to low. Cover with a lid and simmer for 1.5 hours or until meat is tender. Add carrots and potatoes to the pot. Cover again with a lid and simmer for an additional 40 minutes or until vegetables are tender. 22. Dried fruit. Dried fruit is a great survival recipe to know because it's simple, nutritious, and can last a long time. Making your own dried fruit is an easy process. You can use an oven, dehydrator, air fryer, or even the sun. Choose any type of fruit that you would like to dry. Wash it off and cut it into small slices or cubes. For some fruits, such as apples, it's best to soak them in water with a tablespoon of lemon juice or citric acid for about 15 minutes before drying them. This will help preserve their color and prevent browning. Preheat the oven to 150 to 175 degrees Fahrenheit, depending on what type of fruit you are drying and how moist they are. Place the sliced or cubed fruit onto baking sheets lined with parchment paper or silicone mats. Bake for 2 to 10 hours, depending on how thickly sliced/chopped your pieces are. Thicker pieces will take longer than thinner ones. Check periodically during the baking time to make sure that they aren't burning or over drying. 23. Peasant bread. Peasant bread is one of the easiest, and tastiest, recipes for survival. Apart from the good taste, this bread is great for use in emergency scenarios because it stores very well and is almost impossible to spoil, as long as you keep it away from moisture. It can last up to a week on countertops and months if you refrigerate or freeze it. Ingredients: all-purpose flour, baking powder, salt, butter or oil, honey. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 180 degrees Celsius. This should take about 10 minutes. In a medium bowl, mix together 2 cups of all-purpose flour with 1 teaspoon of baking powder and ½ teaspoon of salt. You can adjust the amount of salt depending on how salty you like your bread. Cut 2 tablespoons of butter or oil into the dry ingredients until it resembles coarse crumbs. If you are using honey or sugar, add it now as well. 1 tablespoon is sufficient for a mild sweetness, but feel free to adjust accordingly based on your preference. Slowly pour in 1 cup of warm water while stirring the mixture with a wooden spoon until it forms a dough ball that is slightly sticky but not wet. Knead the dough on a lightly floured surface for 3 minutes until it is smooth and elastic, then shape it into a loaf roughly 8 inches long by 4 inches wide by 2 inches high and place it onto an ungreased cookie sheet lined with parchment paper. Bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 180 degrees Celsius, for 25 minutes until golden brown, then remove from oven and allow to cool before slicing and serving. 24. Hasty pudding. Hasty pudding is one of the best survival recipes to know because it can be prepared quickly, hence the name, and with just a few ingredients. 25. Old-fashioned stack cake. This delicious treat takes minutes to make, requires very few ingredients, and is sure to nourish body and soul. The ingredients needed to make the perfect stack cake are simple and can easily be found in your pantry or local grocery store. Here's what you need. 2 cups all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon baking powder, ½ teaspoon baking soda, 1/4 teaspoon ground cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon salt, 3/4 cup butter, softened, 2 cups firmly packed light brown sugar, 3 eggs. Preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and lightly grease 2 8-inch round cake pans. In a medium bowl, combine flour, baking powder, baking soda, cinnamon and salt, set aside. In a large bowl, cream together butter and sugar until fluffy. Add eggs one at a time while mixing on low speed until combined into the mixture. Add half of the dry ingredients to the wet ingredients and mix until just blended, then add buttermilk, or regular milk, and mix until combined. Add remaining dry ingredients and mix until just blended together, do not overmix. Divide batter evenly between prepared pans and spread out into an even layer with a spatula or spoon. The batter will be thick. Place pans in a preheated oven and bake for 25 minutes or until golden brown on top. Test with a toothpick if necessary. Let cool completely before assembling the stack cake. For the filling, combine melted butter, brown sugar, and cinnamon in a small bowl, set aside. When the cakes have cooled completely, begin assembling your stack cake by spreading half of the filling onto one side of each cooled cake layer. Make sure they are facing up so that they are easier to spread. Final thoughts. Being able to cook up delicious meals with nothing more than what you have on hand is an incredibly valuable skill when it comes time for a disaster situation. Even if disaster never strikes, these recipes can be used in day-to-day life. Just imagine the satisfaction you'll get from making them! As we wrap up today's video, if you have any questions or if there are any topics that you would like discussed in the future, let us know in the comments section below. We love to get video ideas from the community. And let us know what you think of today's video as well. We always appreciate input. Be sure to like today's video and subscribe to the channel to learn more about prepping, and share the video with others that may have a passion for prepping or are curious about prepping in general. And lastly, we have put some links to some prepper supplies that you might want to check out in the description below. Thanks for watching the Prepper Almanac.